When you see these escalators leading down to the subway station here, you will find your very first bird of Chapter 3 sitting on top of this green newspaper stand called the Informer. At the bottom of the escalators, you will actually see a brand new weapon, which is the sign weapon. A number of signs have different writing on them, but they actually don't count as different weapons. So we're going to see this guy sitting here who has a fire axe. You can't actually hit him until you get up to him and he decides to start coming over the way here.
This, don't you?
You're damn right I want that. And so after you go ahead and kill him, this guy with his gun will come out. Definitely watch yourself, because that revolver can do a number on you. And this guy has decided to pick up the sign. And now we shall make sure that our revolver has actually been used on someone. Can I have that? That's a cool sign, and I'll take it. The other thing that's right next to the guy with the fire axe is another bird that we will collect. Interestingly, there's a couple of fire extinguishers here, and these seem to be as if they were meant to be like the sledgehammer and the crowbar and all the entry weapons, but they never actually get used, and you'll see why I'm saying that much later in these bonus videos. After you've used a fire axe on the first door around here, you're going to find this this black cabinet here, which has another bird in it that you can collect. When you reach another door that needs to be fire axed open, you'll see some eyeballs sitting on in here, which will indicate that you need to go ahead and move this nice little cash register for a piece of metal. Once you chop down the second door in this level, you're going to find this television with a couple of pictures flashing by on it, as well as the next bird sitting right on top of it. Before hopping over the chain right here, you'll find another bird sitting right on the ground, and a nice little health kit right next to it. Praise be to the hovering, standing small pipe. Ooh. So immediately after you get kicked down an escalator, you're going to fight a bunch of guys back here, and then around the corner you're going to find this nice piece of metal. At some point you're going to be forced to go down some stairs, and you're going to see a bird right down in the middle of them on this little landing area, and that is the last bird to collect around here. So at some point you'll need to jump down on the tracks for the most silent train ride ever, and when you do, you're going to find the last piece of metal for this level. There's not actually a TV on this level. Also, there's going to be this weapon here, which you end up taking as soon as you get onto the silent train. I'm not sure if using this weapon during this silent train ride counts, but you do have to use it during the silent train ride. There's one other location that I know of where this exists, and it's in a bathroom in a school. We'll see that later. So immediately as you start this level, you're starting to hear your gas spectrometer here, telling you that there is a bird somewhere nearby. There's also a bunch of guys running off in the distance, but let's go ahead and pick up the bird, and then we'll look for the next thing. So almost immediately after you grab this nail board from right around here, you're going to be able to see a brand new weapon that you should pick up, which is the gas pipe right here. Make sure you get that and use it on someone. Not only will you get this gas pipe pretty quickly, but you're going to have someone coming out at you who is going to grab a brand new weapon, which is a steam pipe. So as long as you go ahead and get him once, then you suddenly have the steam pipe, which you can use on another enemy. Alright, let's bash the crap out of someone with this nice steam pipe that we've got going. And that is the steam pipe used now. So eventually you'll come upon this room where you have to deal with a number of these crawler guys. And you'll also see this red container in this corner here as someone randomly walks above your head over and over again. For some reason, he doesn't seem to come down. He just likes to go back and forth. But anyway, there is an object right behind that, which has a nice TV that we did not find, I believe, during our run through here, and it is the static TV achievement. In the same room with the large red container, you're going to see this stack of barrels here, and if you head down to the very end, you can very faintly see some eyes and some metal around the corner. So you're going to be scanning this map at some point and then told to kick out this fan. When you do, you're going to head down in here real quick, get a nice little checkpoint, and off this way, as someone follows us, we're going to have a door and a bird by this sink. At some point, a few crawlers are going to come up from this little sewer hole here, but if you go around the corner, there is a cardboard box that is movable, which reveals the first sawed-off shotgun that can be used as a new melee weapon. As you're coming back up from the sewer, you're going to have this guy using his nice little gun here, and if you dodge a few times, you should be okay with him. But let's go ahead and use our nice new melee weapon against him, which I'm sure will work out great. Come on, you bastard. Take my weapon to the face. I'm sure you enjoy it a lot. Alright. Eventually you'll hop down a couple of ladders and get down to this nice little area. And as you're heading through here and killing people along the way, you'll find yourself flipping through a couple different tunnels where eventually you'll find a somewhat large room. And you'll see your gas spectrometer going off, and you might think it's this bird right here that is all the rage with the gas, but it's actually this one right here on the ground. After you fight a couple of large guys in this room with these generators and come up this ladder, you're going to head over to this corner where you're going to find a shovel and a bird sitting over here. If you open up this cabinet here, you're going to find this girl jumping out, but if you head down around the side here, we're going to actually come across a bird that we saw earlier with the stinky bird in this room, just sitting in our path. In this room with a couple subway cars and a bunch of people with guns and other weapons, you're going to find a table all the way at the back with a nice little bird for you to collect, which is the last bird for this area. From where you got the last bird, if you face the subway train and you turn to the right and head over here, you're actually going to find a brand new piece of metal sitting right on this wooden barricade with kind of visible eyes. After grabbing this crowbar, you're going to find that a guy comes out with a brand new weapon. If you can manage to stun him and take it from him, you may very well be able to use it against him. And there you have the large plank used. You'll be climbing up this ladder at some point where you'll end up fighting this girl. And around the corner there's going to be a chain link door right over here, but instead of going through that, head to the side, and between these two cardboard boxes sitting on the ground will be the final piece of metal for this area. As you get into this creepy department store, you'll have multiple different times to get a new weapon called the clothes rack, which I believe is only in this level. It might be in other levels, but I can't recall. Anyway, if you go a little bit further, you're going to find a package with a red bow and our first bird next to it with the creepiest mannequins ever. I really hate mannequins. Let's make use of this clothes rack on this guy freaking out over here. I mean, I would be freaking out too if I was in this store. No matter how many times I go through this store, it's still pretty well set up atmospherically. At least I think so. You'll see this guy get shot through this window, as well as needing to move a few objects out of your way. And if you turn around here, you're going to see these eyes on this pillar. And also see this guy kind of moving around over here. But this is going to be the first piece of metal that we can get for this level. As you come around the corner from where the guy got shot with a shotgun through the window, you will see the most depressing Christmas tree ever. Besides that, there's also a nice little bird right around the corner with these mannequin heads. And if you kick out the glass, you can grab that for the next bird in this chapter. While following some blood marks on the ground with your tool, you're going to eventually run into a gate that you can't go through, and it will tell you that you need to find an alternate route. And when you are finding that route, it is going to lead you up to these payphones eventually, and right next to it is a piece of metal. Head up the stairs a little way from the last piece of metal that you got, and you'll find these 3 display shelves. On the last one in the corner, you'll find another bird. So you're going to be following some blood to this nice damp area, and if you head down where all of these columns are, and just around the corner, you're going to see some shelving, and just behind that shelving is your next piece of the metal, which is the final piece of metal for this chapter. So a guy will come crashing through here, and if you head through it, knocking down a few things, getting a checkpoint, you can go just around the way, and you'll hear someone panting in the corner. But on the shelving is another bird. Just be careful of the guy behind it, because he will try to get up and kill you. If you use your fire axe to bash down all doors, eventually you're going to see this thing being held up by a mannequin arm. Towards the back of here, there's going to be one guy that you can pretty easily take down, and on a table with a bunch of mannequin heads is another bird. You'll find a fire axe door with this exit sign next to it, and if you go ahead and chop that down, you will get a nice little checkpoint when you're coming through here, but you'll also be back in the department store. Heading up these stairs, you will find a couple of different changing rooms, and it's not the first, but the second changing room that you will find the final bird for this area. There are no TVs, so that's all there is to find here. As you start this level, you'll be in a very compact area with a couple of birds right in front of you that you should see in the cutscene. But if you look down, you're going to find a locker door, which is a brand new weapon. Also, if the helicopter happens to shine its light on you, it doesn't actually see you anyway. Another thing you might notice in the cutscene is that you can move this to find another bird right behind it. If you head over here, you're going to have a guy jumping out of the ceiling that you can use your nice new locker door. Fuck! You shouldn't be too hard to take down, because the locker door is pretty epic. After you've defeated him and watched this door close, you can head around the corner, grab a TV, and a piece of metal. Everything's pretty compact in this level because it's very short. As you head into this room here, someone's going to burst through the wall, and he will have a shotgun, so be ready for him. If you can manage him pretty well, he won't do too much damage to you, but make sure you head back, because there is a filing cabinet right here that will have a bird right beneath it. Rosa will give you a call to tell you about the police being outside, which is pretty obvious by now. While she's doing that, a rebar will fly through the window and into the wall as you see these eyeballs off in the distance, as well as this piece of metal right here. From the same room with the piece of metal in it, you'll jump out a window onto a small landing, and if you turn to your side before jumping off of here, you'll find another new bird for you. After you jump down from the little landing, take this fence all the way around to the side here, and you will find the final bird sitting on some cardboard here. If you jump down immediately after that and turn to your side and run straight forward, you will find the final piece of metal for this level, and that's all there is to it. A along with a whole bunch of guys trying to kill you.